Hey everybody, this is Jorge from jorgeshome.net. We're going to try out something new. This is going to be our first episode of a new video show we're calling Speed Commentary. We're going to take a look at the coloring of Proof God Hates Me Strip 97. A little background for Strip 97. Jorge has just finished with the longest triathlon in the history of mankind. He's come home, he's excited because while busting his ass in this triathlon, he's lost all the weight that God put on him, and he's gonna come home. He's gonna share it with Rowdy, and Rowdy steals his thunder because Rowdy is mysteriously thin too, and we don't know why Rowdy is thin, but there are some hints, and we are going to find out pretty soon. What you can see in the video right now is the first stage of putting together any of the comics at the coloring stage. The comic has been scanned in, and what I'm doing right now is I'm cleaning it up. I'm erasing anything that may that came through on the scan, like little pieces of dust. If I don't like anything that I drew, I can fix the line art at that point. And, well, I'm getting a little far behind on what we're seeing. Right now you're seeing the coloring stage, but I want to talk about a couple things that happened before the coloring stage that you might have just saw. First thing you might have saw, bringing up some dialogue boxes there, was I took all the black line art and I copied it into a new layer, and I deleted the white space to create an untouched line art section, so I could do what you're seeing right here, coloring in white space by just throwing color over it with the brush tool or the pencil tool, and not having to worry about preserving the line art in the background layer. So once I'm done, I can just merge the black line art with this layer. Oh, what you're seeing right there is my computer saying that I don't have the RAM to handle what I'm doing. Well, I have a fairly inexpensive computer, which works fine for me, except for when I try to do things like record myself while I am doing Photoshop. It takes a lot of RAM, and my little cheapy computer has a hard time handling it. What you just saw flash up on the screen was Strip 54 of Proof God Hates Me. And the reason why you're going to see that coming in back and forth is because I'm going to it for color references, for like Rowdy's shirt and hat, the walls of the apartment, the duct tape, which a lot of people don't seem to understand why there's duct tape poorly covering a hole in the wall next to the door. Well, you might remember back in Strip, I think 51, when Jorge had first, or 52 maybe, when Jorge had just gotten fat. He got stuck in the door frame moving into Rowdy's apartment. And it is referenced to, it's never shown, they break the door jamb apart with a sledgehammer so Jorge can get through. And instead of getting someone to fix the door jamb, all they do is do a shit job covering up with duct tape, which is, I'm sure if that ever happened with Rowdy and I, that's pretty much how we'd end up going about getting me unstuck and fixing the door frame. What you're seeing right now is me just doing the solid colors. I do some gradients for the walls because I knew right from the get-go I was going to do gradients for those wall colors. I got down all the basic colors, and now you can see I'm going to, what is this, the third, fourth, whatever stage this is, and that's putting in shading and lighting effects. On this stage where I've colored in with one color, so I can't just take the brush tool and do a specific section like I want, I'll make a selection with either the pen tool or the lasso tool. I've only just discovered the pen tool. I didn't really know what it was for before, and so I'm trying to start using that to learn how to use it correctly. Generally I use the lasso tool to make selections because it's just easier, because that's exactly what it's for. The pen tool is for a couple other different things. So, but I am trying to learn. People who have been paying attention to the strip from the beginning will know that it's come a long way. The art has changed drastically throughout. It's because I have learned new software and gotten new tools to do this as I'm going along. Right now, I am using Photoshop to do the coloring. I do actually have a copy. I have the CS4 Adobe Suite, which I use to do a lot of things. So I do have a copy of Illustrator, but I don't really use Illustrator all that much because I don't have a pressure sensitive input device like a Wacom tablet. Because when I got Adobe, I had money to spend on things like Adobe, but right now I do not have the money to spend on things like that, so I can't really go out and buy one. So I found like using Illustrator to do coloring and line art when you don't have something like a Wacom tablet is really hard, and it takes a long time. So I would rather just draw it out by hand, scan it into Photoshop, and then play with it that way. It saves a lot of time. Another thing that saves a lot of time that webcomickers might get on my case for is that I just paint it all into the background here. I don't do different layers. I lose some functionality, I'm sure, but that's just the way I do it.